Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about The Traitors Season 4, Episode 5, titled If You're Gonna Come For Me, I'll Finish You. Last time on The Traitors, after the Traitors sent Stanbury bye-bye back to Dubai, Colton rallied the faithful to banish Tiffany, who Eric did not, in fact. Here laugh. I put a link in the description to my playlist to catch up on my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. But let's dive into it. Players head to breakfast and mourn Tiffany. Eric tells us, as a child of immigrants, he feels pressure to take care of people, so he feels very guilty. Dorinda is still on about Ron, saying Ron doesn't make an effort, he just accuses whoever accuses him, and she's still annoyed with Ron for Portia's banishment. Kristen tells us that Colton is fishy for taking a swing and missing at Tiffany. Enter Ron, causing a tonal shift. Everyone gets quiet. He says he hasn't heard that little applause since early in his career. Michael tells us he thinks Ron is playing meek. They talk about Colton's time as the Bachelor, with Dorinda shocked that Colton dated women. Dorinda says she would have competed if she had the chance. Colton assures her that she dodged a bullet. Enter Johnny and Tara, last to arrive, meaning Monet was murdered, with flashback to the Traitors having no choice but to murder Monet for saying Lisa's name. Monet says he's a faithful ghost that's gonna haunt these halls. So we lose Monet here, who did an okay job. This was kind of what I was expecting from Monet, to be friendly and well-liked, and she was doing so well until this episode, where that one innocent mistake saying Lisa's name to Candace was the sole reason she was murdered. It's disappointing we never got to see her come under any fire at the round table. Monet isn't very confrontational, but I would like to see what she'd do if she was accused. She ends up being eliminated right here around the same time that Bob was eliminated last season, and I do feel that both appearances were good representations of both their personalities, though it's very, very unfortunate that this is the furthest a Drag Race contestant has gotten on this show. I'm tapping in Latrice, Alaska, or Alyssa Edwards to save the day for this franchise, just not Bad Liar Ginger Minj. Candace feels really guilty about Monet's departure. Everyone on the show feeling guilty. Best dressed at breakfast. Preseason, I promised if Rob Roush walked into breakfast wearing nothing but those overalls, I'm giving him best dressed. These overalls, this look is the quintessential Rob Roush Halloween costume. Enter Alan wearing a red vest that has murder written on it in what appears to be glitter glue. If this season doesn't win an Emmy, it's because of this vest. Players disperse. Lisa and Candace tell Kristen and Tara that they want Ron out. Tara has a confessional where she admits she has no idea what the hell is going on. Maura fires Michael up, helping him get annoyed at Colton. At this point, Michael is coming for Colton. Elsewhere, Ron is convinced that Dorinda and Michael are the traitors. For sure, Ron. Wrong and wrong. Colton tries to tell the group that Ron doesn't do anything in missions, but Kristen defends Ron, and Kristen is annoyed with Colton's tactics. She tells Candace she knows for a fact that Colton's a traitor, who's hurting people like sheep. Players head to their mission, where the angels are angry. Alan is wearing a red beret and gift wrap corset. Players need to search in a bloody fountain for coins that will reveal the location of statues they need to retrieve. They have to retrieve all 8 statues in 30 minutes to win money. If they don't get all the statues in time, they win no money. There are also shields hidden under the statues. They're told if nobody takes a shield, the murder will be cancelled, but if at least one shield is taken, the murder will happen. Players split into teams and get started. Johnny continues to hate the water. Candace fears if she falls into the water, she could get a yeast infection, and asks us in confessional who will take care of her coochie. Maura and Rob are on the same team. Surprise, surprise. And their team with Kristen and Tara aren't taking the shields. Really, the only 2 players who seem they might want to take a shield are Colton and maybe Natalie, who really wants to see what the shield looks like. Colton tells Mark that he wants a shield. The team of Colton, Mark, Candace, and Lisa get to a statue where there are 4 shields. They're tempted. Natalie, Dorinda, Michael, and Johnny find 4 as well. We're left in suspense. What did they choose? Well, the players completed this challenge in time and won $16,000 for the prize pot, and the fountain squirted blood. Dorinda's especially happy that they won. Alan sends them back to the house without revealing how many, if any, shields were taken. Fergus bathes in the blood. Back in the castle, players strategize. Ron walks in on Steven conspiring against him with Dorinda, which is awkward. Ron then tells Steven and Dorinda that he thinks Michael and Dorinda are traitors. Dorinda shows so much restraint in this moment, simply saying she's faithful and her faithful family will back her. In the kitchen, Colton conspires against Michael. Of course, enter Michael. Colton asks Michael if Alan changes outfits in the turret, trying to trip Michael up. Colton tells the others his goal is to make people uncomfortable and see how they react. Michael and Colton steadily escalate, with Michael telling Colton that his sniffer's clogged up after the Tiffany vote, telling us that Colton is a failed ringleader. So Michael rages through the castle, calling Colton's allies Colton's killers, returning to Colton, calling him an effing traitor, with Colton saying in confessional, if you're gonna come for me, I'll finish you. Oop, Colton said the thing. So they head to the round table, started by Candace asking the guys to explain the shouting in the kitchen. Michael accuses, in his words, conniving, commiserating Colton for targeting Tiffany, saying Colton is responsible for targeting an innocent faithful and continues to target more faithfuls. Michael is pissed. honest. This takes a turn for the worse. When Michael points at Colton saying nobody in the room would be better at holding a secret than Colton, Colton instantly feels like Michael was insinuating that Colton not sharing he was gay makes him a good liar. The others all feel that way too, and that's how it looked on TV. Michael tries to defend himself, but nobody's having it. Michael again calls Colton a commiserator. Rob takes big issue with this word, saying Michael is using the wrong word, insulting Michael's vocabulary. Colton says 3 people who voted Michael out have been murdered. Ron then chimes in saying Dorinda's a traitor. Dorinda says she's tried to get to know Ron and learn about his family. Ron tells Dorinda his family is none of her effing business. So Ron and Dorinda are having this back and forth, which was very unnecessary, with Candace again reminding the group that she thinks that Ron is a traitor. Michael chimes back in, accusing Ron and Colton of being traitors. Colton says Michael's lucky to still be there. Natalie agrees. Natalie says the way Michael spoke to Colton is unacceptable and tells the group they just need to get him out of there. Eric again calls Michael a distraction. Michael, who has no self-control, calls Eric the man with the magic ears. At this point, the group is so annoyed with Michael as he continues to go on and on and on. So they get to voting. Votes for Ron are Lisa, Candace, Dorinda, Michael, and Steven, and the rest of the votes are for Michael. So with the majority, Michael is banished here. On the way out, he tells the group they voted out the best looking, smartest, and dopest faithful. Well, he got one thing right. He was a faithful. In confessional, he tries to apologize to us for his comments, but we lose Michael here. First of all, screw this guy. He's awful, horrible, a nightmare, a headache. His personality is just plain awful. I can't believe they didn't vote him out sooner. Screaming every episode. He came into these 2 episodes saying his strategy was to be nice, and we all knew this would happen. The second they flew out to Scotland, we were annoyed that he was cast. Just an offensive jerk. And of course he would do something offensive. His comments to Colton brought flashbacks to Jeff Varner on Survivor. It is wild to me the group didn't vote him out unanimously after this horrific and embarrassing display. I blame production for this irresponsible and reckless casting. Following Michael's banishment, Alan continues to leave players unsure if there will be a murder tonight. Players gather around the bar. I would too. Kristen tells Eric and Mark that if she gets killed, Colton did it. Mark tells them Colton said a lot of names as suspects. Johnny tells Tara and Candace he also thinks Colton is a traitor. In another group, Colton throws out another name, this time Lisa, telling them that Lisa is unusually quiet. She voted for Portia. She wears her sunglasses all the time. That she gave the best description of the murder because she got to watch it 3 times. Rob is shook to hear all of this and is going to be torn between his friend and the traitors. Johnny and Tara get a quick moment to hug as Johnny oogles Rob in his overalls. Later in the turret, Rob tells Lisa that Colton's coming for her. Lisa and Candace are pissed. Lisa tells us she wants to murder Colton, and that's where we end the episode. Some notes on this episode, underreported by me, but Monet and Natalie had a little friendship, and I'm relieved that Natalie continues to play a strong game, even after Monet leaves. No one's doubting her faithful status. She's got friends, and she plays smartly in challenges to avoid being shortlisted. I don't think there will be a murder. There is no way either of those 2 groups took the 4 shields. Had they taken those shields, the castle would have erupted into chaos right when they got back from the challenge. And surely it would have been a topic at the round table. Maybe someone sneakily took one when no one was looking, but is it really worth it? Keeping up with the traitors, Rob is playing the best of the 3. I wonder what would have to happen for Rob to get caught at this point, since he's so aloof and well-liked. I also think more than half of the contestants are into him. The friendship or flirtship between he and Maura continues to grow. I ship them, okay? They're always on the same team in challenges. Let's watch this space. My big prediction is that Rob recruits Maura and they win together. These were 2 good episodes for Candace. She continues to be very assertive. She likes things the way she likes them, but the other players seem to accept that's just her personality. Locking onto Ron as a target is great. It makes her a constant in the game for now. The easiest thing to do is just target one person, then say whoopsie when they're banished. Lisa, she's falling apart. She's exposed at this point, but the traitor's saving grace is there are still so many sketchy faithfuls the group needs answers to. They still have Ron, Colton, Jam Jam, with what I expect to be 5-ish banishments left. To me, the traitors are still winning, but that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know what you thought of the episode and reply to my pinned comment. Who's winning right now, the faithful or the traitors? If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week with more traitors. Until then, you know where to find me. Bye.